Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle and I'm an eBay reseller, and I go to yard sales, thrift stores, retail stores, discount stores, and I find items at a low price and I flip them for a profit on platforms like eBay. And I'm actually also dabbling in a little bit of Facebook Marketplace as well. So if this is something you're interested in, please be sure to follow my channel and subscribe, hit that bell notification, and YouTube will actually notify you every time I upload a video. So this is the last part of the how-to series. This is video number 3. If you haven't watched part 1 or 2, I'll link them in the description below. Be sure to watch those before you watch this one. So my first one talks about sourcing. The second one talks about actually listing on eBay and the steps I take. And then this third one is now going to talk about shipping. Okay, so with shipping for eBay, you're gonna wanna definitely have a few supplies on hand. And I'm going to go over a couple different categories. So your first category are supplies that are all free. What you'll want to do is go onto the USPS website, that's the United States Postal Service, and you're gonna actually get free supplies from them. Now you can either walk into your local post office and get these supplies. However, I have found the easiest way to do that is just ordering them online and having them delivered for free directly to your door. I found sometimes when I go into the post office, they're pretty low on some of the regular items that I use. So I don't really rely on, going inside the post office, but you may want to check at your local post office because it may be completely different than my experience as well. So the first few items that I normally use that are from that website are the envelopes. So there are 2 that I normally use. There are more, but the first one is a flat rated envelope, and you'll see right here where it says flat rate. And this is just a standard letter size, and it is just cardboard. And so a lot of people get confused because they think that, you can only ship paper in here, like documents and stuff, but it actually, as long as it fits, it ships pretty much. So I'm gonna actually show you and give you an example of how I utilize this shortly. So definitely stay tuned for that one. The second one I use is also a envelope, but it's actually a padded envelope. So it actually has bubble wrap in it. And it's the same size. It still is a letter size. And so that one is there. You just have to remember when you're ordering it, this is called the padded flat rate envelope. Envelope, I don't know. What do you say? And then a couple of the boxes I use, I really don't use the small boxes. I really thought that was going to be like the number one I gravitated toward, but often the items that I have that are going priority don't fit in that, and I actually have to use something a little bit bigger. And so the 2 that I normally gravitate towards is either a medium flat rate box or the regional rate box A. And really, because they're both priority mail, and when you set up your eBay listing, you're still going to use priority mail and select that. But this one here is called regional rate A. And then this one isn't really put together, but it'll just show you. This one says medium flat rate right there. And so when I utilize these 2, it kind of just depends because you can see like the size difference is a little bit different. But a lot of the things that I end up shipping, the regional rate A box is going to be just a little bit cheaper than if I use a medium one. But it also just depends on where it's shipping to. Like if it's in my area, like I'm in Arizona, so if it's in California or any of my other neighboring states, it's probably going to ship better if I use a regional rate A box. But if I'm shipping all the way to like New Jersey or something, it's probably going to be better if I use a medium flat rate box. But again, all just depends on what zip code you're shipping to and what items you're utilizing. One is a large flat rate box, and this one is actually a game box. So you can see like there's like little game pieces here. And this one is really good. Like, I've shipped keyboards in this box, and it works really, really well because as long as you can just like pad it with different kinds of packaging paper and so forth, it works really good. When you go onto the website, you're going to want to click free supplies, and it's going to just show everything. You're not going to want the ones that say express that has a little bit of blue in it. It's just the straight priority mailboxes that you need, or shipping, you know, envelopes and stuff and so forth. So, and some of them you can order like 10 or at a time, or you can do like 25. And I know a lot of people will just like stock up so much. I actually didn't do that. I didn't really want to be wasteful either. I mean, I didn't really know which ones I was going to be using. So I think when I first made my first order, I only did anywhere between 10 and 25 at a time. I think the envelopes I did more, but like the boxes I didn't do as many, and I'm glad I did because I've only had to order twice in the past like 4 or 5 months, and both times I haven't really had to order so much. I found that most of my items are shipping first class, which doesn't even go into any priority mail items. And so when you're looking at that, I don't use them as often as I thought I was going to. So I'm glad I didn't order too much. So that's your free items that you definitely want to take advantage of. They're free because you're going to end up using their service. So obviously you're probably paying for the cost of that envelope and that box in the price of when you ship the actual item. It just up front is when it's free. First class packages go into 4 different weight categories. So you have your 4 ounce, your 8 ounce, your 12 ounce, and then up to 16 ounces. And so anything under that, so a pound or less than a pound, is going to ship first class, and that's going to be your cheapest option when it comes to USPS on a regular basis. And so when you are listing your items, remember you definitely need to weigh them. So one of the key components is a scale. So this is the one I use. This is called Accutech. It has a max pound limit of 110 pounds. I like it. I used to have a smaller one that I just had at my house for whatever reason, and I used that for like a month. And then I got to a point where I needed to ship something really heavy and really bulky. And the one that I was using, it actually had the panel with the weight listed on the actual machine. And I ended up trying to find one that didn't, just like this one, how it's corded, because then I couldn't see the actual numbers when the box was sitting on it. It was very weird because it was just a big box. And it wasn't like super heavy, like definitely didn't get to 110 pounds. But it I just needed something a little bit better. So this one is really nice. I like it. You can actually, when you can see it there, it's like on. And if you just put something on here, let me just put something on there. It'll bring up your weight, you know, so that's 11 ounces. And you can even click the hold button and it'll hold that weight for you. So while you're, you know, putting everything together and stuff, or you're listing in eBay or whatnot, it'll allow you to utilize that function as well. So I like that for sure. So back to the envelopes. I use, this one is a 5x8, and this is really small. And what I use this for is cosmetics. So either like a tube of lipstick or a small thing of eyeshadow palettes or something like that. These ship very well with that. This is also a padded one, so I literally just stick it in there and seal it, put a label on it, and it's good to go. It's like the fastest. And I actually found these, believe it or not, because I wasn't, at this point with my shipping supplies, I'm still trying to be very cost effective. So I know a lot of people do like the different prints and the different colors, and believe me, I want to get there. But for me, I'm just not ready to shell out that much more of an expense. I want to keep it very simple until I bring in enough, profit so that I can put back and upgrade some kind of some of my shipping supplies. But this, believe it or not, I found at a yard sale. I found a whole big pack of them, and I think I still have a lot of them. And it's a pretty color, but I found them at a very, I think like 2 cents a piece or something. So it was cheaper than just even regular ones. So I definitely took advantage of that. The other ones I found, this is a 9x6, and I think I think I've shown you this one before, but this is also a padded rate. And works really good for DVDs or games. And I think if I ever bought these again, I would probably go up one. So I'd do like a 10x6 or 10x7, because I did find some of the DVDs that I put in here, if they're just a little bit slightly larger, they don't fit, and I do have to use a different type of bag. And then these ones, I have 3 different sizes. These are called poly mailers, and as you can see, they're very flimsy and they're very inexpensive. And you can actually, and this is what I would suggest, especially for new sellers out there who are trying to get some feedback back onto their account. I actually, when I first started, I went onto eBay's website and I ordered poly mailers just like this from another eBay reseller. And I ordered 2 different sizes. I ordered this one, which is another 9x6, but it's not a padded one. And then I ordered this one, which is a 12x9. And most of the time when you go onto the eBay's website and you order shipping supplies, especially if you go with an established vendor, they're going to automatically give you an automatic good feedback. And that's exactly what they did. Like, I ordered and they gave me feedback immediately as a buyer. And even though it is as a buyer, it's still going to help your eBay account and eBay trusting you as an actual seller too. So I did that. And then like 2 months later, I ended up finding that I needed something just a little bit bigger sometimes, especially when I was shipping like, I don't know, like a lightweight jacket that didn't necessarily need to go into a priority mail, or maybe it was just a couple shirts or something like that. So I upgraded and I went back and I ordered these from that same seller. And this is actually a 15x12. And this works really good for, like I said, lightweight clothes. And that's primarily what I use that for as well. But one thing I did do, and I highly suggest you do this as well, I have a pretty large family. I have 4 brothers, I have a sister, my parents live close by. So I don't know about you guys, but we have like a family group texting. I just sent out a text and said, hey, I'm selling on eBay. When you get your Amazon boxes in, I want your small boxes. If you can save me any kind of packaging fillers that they included, like air bubbles. I've never had to buy air bubbles since I've started my eBay business. Everything has come from people that I know specifically. I asked them to save me any kind of packaging paper, any kind of like peanuts or anything like that. And they all did that. I know a lot of people will go like on Amazon or eBay and find like the little boxes to ship some of their, items that they don't feel comfortable shipping in an envelope. And I still have not had to do that. I reuse all of my boxes that are coming in. Now, I started in October, and obviously a lot of people were buying during that time because it's the holiday season. And so I knew my family were online buyers. And so I just asked them, hey, save those for me. I'll pick them up. They dropped them off. And it worked out really good. And I still have a really large supply of those items. And what I do is I just use a box cutter, just a standard box cutter. And what I'll do is I will resize some of those boxes to what I need them to resize to. It's really easy, especially if you just need to make up, like it's already a box and you just need to fold it down a little bit. You can use this and not necessarily go all the way through the box, but you can really just bend the box. So you just cut it like halfway through so you can bend it and then secure it with tape, and it works perfectly fine. So again, never had to buy boxes, and I'm not planning to unless I absolutely need to. And I don't think I do. Obviously I have a large family, so I took advantage of that. But it's just one example of being able to take advantage of the community and your support system. Maybe it's friends, maybe it's coworkers. So a few other items that I think that are really key in terms of shipping supplies, and the ones that I did purchase right away, was a tape gun. This one I just got off of Amazon, and I'll link it in the description so you can see it. And I also did buy bulk tape because I figured I was going to be utilizing it a lot, and I'm so glad I did, because tape can get pretty expensive if you're just buying it one roll at a time. But I think I bought like 24 rolls or something off of Amazon, or maybe it was 12, and I bought this tape gun, and it comes in really, really handy. So definitely get one of those. I did purchase bubble wrap. This was one item because I wasn't seeing this in a lot of like the Amazon boxes. A lot of the Amazon boxes I was getting from like my family and friends were air pockets, which I love because I'm still utilizing all of those. But bubble wrap is going to be really good. Just to like, I usually like will wrap certain things just so that they don't get damaged, en route to the customer. And so this is actually a smaller one now. It's actually, when you get it, it's really big, but I've kind of dwindled my supply down a little bit. This is the first roll I've ever bought, and it has lasted me over 4 months. So it definitely lasts a long time, and it's definitely worth your money. And I'll link this one in the description as well. And this one actually is perforated, so it's every 12 inches, and it just rips off just like that. So I usually only use one, maybe two, depending what I'm shipping. The other item that I use, and I've often spoken about Lindy Glenn. If you have not followed Lindy Glenn on YouTube, be sure to look her up. She's amazing. She's been reselling for a very long time, has a lot of really cool tricks and tips as well. And so this is one that I got from her, and I was trying to give her credit if I'm like using one of her tips. And this is from Walmart. This is called the twist tie bags. They're just like bread bags. There's 100 of them, and I've found these for like anywhere from $1 to $2 at my local Walmart. It kind of just depends on if they're on sale or whatnot, but they're really inexpensive. I highly suggest utilizing those for two things. So Lindy uses them for liquids, and so it's just a plastic bag. That's it, and it's just open. And so I'll show you an example shortly, but she uses those for liquids. I've actually taken it a step further, and I actually use this for clothes as well. So some resellers will go online and they'll buy just clear plastic bags to put their clothes in, and it already has like a little seal, and they just rip off the little thing, and then it's a very nice presentation. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure I'll get there one day. But because again, I'm trying to save money and making sure that I'm utilizing everything, and these are very inexpensive, I actually will just like if I sell a shirt, I'm just going to slip it into this bag. I'm going to fold it, and I'm just going to put a piece of tape there. Like, I don't think it's a terrible presentation. I think the customer would rather have it in a bag than just like thrown in an envelope or something. So I'm okay with that at this point. Obviously, maybe I'll upgrade that, soon, but for me, it works very well. They're like rolls of fragile stickers. This one just says, handle with care, fragile, thank you. You want to go this route, when you're going to grab fragile stickers. I highly suggest getting some, even if it's like 1 or 2 sheets to utilize, because if you are sending like a coffee mug or something that's breakable, and you want to make sure the carrier knows that it is fragile, and you also want to let your buyer know, like, hey, I made every effort to securely package your item and get it to you very safely. And so I think it's very inexpensive, and I think this is definitely key to have as well. So you do want to be careful in terms of the type of sticker that you buy. You want one just kind of similar to this. You do not want the ones that say special handling. Do not purchase those ones. So the special handling labels will actually incur an additional cost to you. So you definitely don't want to purchase that one. You want to purchase something that's similar to this, and you can find these almost anywhere on any platform, Amazon, eBay. So a few items that I have sold in the past couple of days I wanted to share with you, and I'm just going to show you how I actually package those items up and ship those to the customer. So I'm kind of glad. It was actually a variety of items, different types of items that sold for me in the past few days, and just wanted to share that with you. So one of the first items that sold was these Aussie 3-minute Miracle conditioners, and they are actually liquids. And so I kind of want to show you how I package liquids and to ship to the buyer. And then I actually sold the Pop Marvel puzzle. So if you've been watching this series, I found this for $1 at a yard sale, and I sold it for $15 plus shipping. So it's amazing ROI on this product. These next two products I actually This one I purchased at a yard sale for $1. These are men's jeans, and they're Cinch EM, and I think I said that right. And they're 32 by 32, really good condition, a very good brand. And I think they sold $20 plus shipping, and I only purchased for $1, so definitely a good find. So I'm glad a pair of jeans sold, so I could show you how I ship clothes. This one actually sold the same day I listed it, and I was very surprised because I don't always have the best luck with home goods, so I won't take it all the way out of the packaging, but this will just give you an idea. This are 2 throw pillowcases, 18 by 18. They're really pretty color, and really nice design. I bought these at the bin store for $1. And as you know, I love going to that bin store, double R discounts. If you're in Pinal County, Arizona, you definitely want to go and check that out. And then the last item that sold was this DVD set. And it's actually it's called The Mafia by the History Channel. And this is really cool because the buyer did pay for shipping, but they actually paid for shipping that is a US PS media mail. So you can only use that option if you are sending anything that is educational. So this is a documentary, so I'm able to utilize that shipping option. And I think it only costs the buyer maybe like $2.38 or $2.83 or something like that. But you do want to be careful because you don't want to risk your store in terms of abusing any kind of the mail services. So definitely don't take the chance. I've heard of other people taking chances of just utilizing that media mail because it's so inexpensive for any kind of DVDs or games or whatever that they send. And I think, you know, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I do think it has to have some kind of an educational component on it. And so, you know, say you're shipping a textbook or you're shipping, I ship those history books as well in one of my last videos. And then I think, you know, you can use it for, you know, workbooks or something like that, you know, school supplies, things that are educational component, you can utilize that service. But definitely don't take advantage of it because the post office can actually open up any, you know, package just to make sure that nothing is getting abused. And so you do not want to risk your store for just, you know, saving $2 or $3 or whatever the case is. So we'll show you how I'm going to ship that as well. If you are enjoying this video so far, please be sure to hit the like button. It helps my channel. I very much appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. Hit that bell notification, and YouTube will actually notify you every time I do upload a video. The next part of the shipping process is actually printing shipping labels. So there's a couple different steps that you can take. First off, when I first started, I just utilized my printer that I currently had at home, and I utilized copy paper. And then I would print it and I would use tape to tape it down. And I would absolutely start that way right now. Don't go out and buy a new printer. There are some really high-end thermal printers out there that you'll see a lot of resellers utilize. And in my opinion, I don't even have one of those yet. I don't think it's necessary. I did finally upgrade. I was actually at an estate sale, and my husband found a laser printer, and for $10. And laser printers, if you know about laser printers, the good ones, you're going to spend well over $100 on them. And he found one for $10, and we definitely scooped that up because I knew I would utilize it. It was a Brother printer, good brand. And so I did ended up upgrading to utilizing actually shipping labels. And I'll link those ones that I utilize right now. You can start that way. Some people will tell you should just start utilizing labels through your printer right away. In my opinion, I didn't want that extra cost again, so I didn't do that. And I only did that very recently within the past, maybe a couple of months for reselling. And I probably won't I don't think I'm going to invest in a thermal printer. Maybe towards the end of this year, we'll see how it goes. But I do like my laser printer. Maybe if, you know, once I start selling a lot more on a daily basis, it'll save me some time, and then I'll see that it's going to be worth it. So let me show you how I print off my labels from the eBay website, so that way you can see what the process is. I will say what I normally do is, so for example, I'm going to grab this product and I'm going to use my scale, and I'm going to put this in the actual poly mailer that I'm going to utilize. I'm going to weigh it exactly with the envelope there, so that way you know, when I go to print off my shipping label, and if I need to make any edits or anything, maybe I messed up when I was listing it, it's going to calculate it correctly for me. So that way my account doesn't get dinged for additional charges at a later date. I've never had that happen, but I've heard that happened, and definitely don't want that to happen. So I want to be very accurate when it comes to shipping my labels. So let me show you my computer screen and we'll go from there. Okay, so once you log in to the eBay website and you are going to go and print your label, it's going to take you to this screen, and it's going to show you what the buyer actually selected, which is more times than not what you listed on the actual listing for shipping out. So this one is USPS Priority Mail Flat Rate Envelope, and this is the Aussie conditioners that I recently sold. And when you go up to the weight and the dimensions, it's really not going to matter, only because you are selecting a flat rate envelope. And so that information is not necessarily needed, but you do want to stay under that 70-pound limit in order to ship at that specific item. Are interested, you can obviously toggle through, you know, each kind of options, eBay, FedEx, UPS, USPS, and see all of the different options there. And as you can see, some of them can get pretty expensive. The USPS Parcel Select is even higher, so that's considered ground. And so I'm still going to opt for the actual item that I selected when I did my listing originally. So once I'm ready, then I will just click Print Shipping Label. And there's my label. Okay, so this next one is the DVD set that is the documentary that we are going to ship via USPS Media Mail. And the buyer did select it and paid for it. And so in this instance, you are definitely going to need to record the correct weight and the dimensions. And so it is important that you do weigh everything, and you do input those items up at the top to make sure you can avoid any overcharges and so forth. And again, I'm just going to click Print Shipping Label, and I am all set. Okay, everybody, so we are going to start shipping. So I've already printed off my shipping labels. So now all I am going to do is actually package the items up so that I can send it over to the post office. So the first item that I'm going to ship is going to be this Mafia DVD set. And so I'm going to use this size of a bag that's a 12 by 9. Obviously it's going to fit just perfectly in there, or even this way. And I'm actually going to use some bubble wrap. And when I use bubble wrap, I'm actually going to use with the raised edges on the outside of the product. That way, if there's any kind of bumping or anything, it's going to actually secure the item. So I'm just going to roll it that way, and then I will use my tape gun. And that's how it is bubble wrapped. And I just need, now, before I actually put the product in the actual bag, I am going to take my label, any crinkling of the label, so that way they can scan it in correctly. And then I'm just going to ship this right in there. And then what I do is I just try and make sure that there's a lot of this space, that I'm not doing it up here because there's a lot of room here for the product to shift around. I'm gonna actually just bend it all the way down this way. Remove this little item here. And then secure it this way. Now you want to be sure, see how there's like little areas where it can catch? What I normally do is I just grab a little piece of tape and I just secure those down. Just to make sure that nothing catches when it's getting delivered from one place to the next. All right, the next item is going to be the pillowcases. Again, I'm going to use that same size bag and make sure that that's going to fit there. So I'm going to secure my label first. And then I'm going to put that right in the poly mailer. I'm actually going to try and get as much air out as possible on this product. Just like that. And that actually fits all the way pretty much to the top. So the next item is this Pop Mavro puzzle. And I am going to use a box for this item because, you know, this could be something that somebody may want to collect and not necessarily open. So I don't want anything to get damaged on it. And so I actually have this box that actually came from Amazon, as you can see. And I've kind of measured it and it's going to work perfectly. So all I'm doing is I'm going to remove the old labels from this box. All right, so here's that box. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take the product itself and place it right into the box here. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of air bubbles just because there's a lot of empty space right here. And you know, this is just a little bit of space and it's not going to change the amount of price in terms of if I made it smaller. It's not going to make any difference. And so that's just extra work that I would have to do. But if it was, then I would resize this box and bring it up if it's going to drop me down to a lower price in terms of shipping. But it's not. So I'm just going to add some filler bubbles here. And then I'm going to take some packaging tape or packaging paper. The next item I'm going to ship are the jeans. I listed them just with priority mail. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this priority mail bubble wrap mailer. And so I do like to make sure clothes are put into one of those bags. And so I'm just going to make sure it's going to be able to fit and tuck it really nicely. So just like this. And that's perfect. Usually most standard size jeans, shirts, whatever are going to fit in these bags. And that's why I like utilizing them, not just for liquids, but for clothes too. And I'll just take a little bit of tape. And I'm just going to close it so that way it gets to the buyer nice and soft. And I'm good there. And I'm going to put my label on this bag again. The product itself, I'm just going to slip that in right into that bag. And this one is good. I don't think I need to tape it or secure it. I feel really good on this one. The last item I'm going to show you how I ship is liquids. So with shipping liquids, particularly with these two products here, which are the Aussie 3-minute conditioners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another one of those bags. And again, this is Lindy Glenn's little tip. This actually product has already a secure tape around it on the actual product, so I don't have to do anything with that. But if it doesn't, and if there's like a flip top of something, I will secure tape around that to make sure that it doesn't pop open during transit. So the reason why you put liquids in bags is just in case while it's en route, if it were to bust, it's probably going to be secure. That liquid will only stay in this bag, or for the most part stay in this bag. And so that is USPS's policy. So I just secure that there, and I'm just going to get a piece of tape, put that tape down back there. So that one is secure. The next step I did, I just thought, obviously I'm going to use this envelope, which is cardboard. And when you start putting bigger products in there, I don't know if you could see it, but those corners start to lift. So what I normally do is I'll take some tape, and I'm just going to secure those corners. So now those corners are secured. Okay. So I have my bag in here. And then remember, this is a flat rate envelope. So I can secure my item as much as possible to make sure that there's no damage during shipment, and it's not going to affect my price. Is I'm going to take some bubble wrap, and I'm just going to roll this as well. You definitely want to get bulk tape. Use a lot of it when you're packaging. You want your item, remember, you have to put yourself in the buyer's shoes. You want something that's going to go securely to your destination. So I can easily just stick this in there, right, and just ship it. But I wanted just some extra security around this. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my box cutter in this box, and these are just like flaps from an old box. And I'm just going to cut this down. Doesn't have to be fancy. And I'm going to place this in the middle. And I'm just going to bend the cardboard over it. Just like that. And now I'm confident that is not going anywhere. Now I'm going to slip it in here and just make sure it's going to fit okay, and it is going to. But before I do that, I'll put my little label again on it. You want good feedback from your customers, so do everything you can or in your power to give your customers exactly what they are expecting. Now, just going to add this. And so this, I'm just going to make sure it's pressed down. And then I'm just going to click here. Right? And then I'm going to bring this down. And believe me, you kind of have to work at it and work with it. Make sure not cover up your label. And I'm just going to secure these top corners too. Guys, I just noticed I didn't have my lighting on when I was showing you all how I ship the actual product. So I apologize for that. So hopefully it's not too dark. I will be doing some more shipping videos. If it's something that you're interested in, please be sure to comment below. Let me know if this is some of the content that you like to see, how I ship different things. Let me know if you want to see a specific item, and I will do my best to make those videos as well. So thank you so much for watching. This is the end of this video of the 3-part how-to series. I really appreciate you joining me and going through this series. Again, be sure to hit that like button if you did find value in this content and if you enjoyed this video. So I will see you next Tuesday.